As Avengers Endgame continues to break every record known to man, the thought of where the MCU is going from here is depressing as hell. Endgame is poised to be the biggest movie in history, and this has nothing to do with Captain Marvel. It happened despite of that movie and Brie Larson. There is no denying that Captain Marvel made over $1 billion, but there were good reasons for this, which Disney and the MCU would never admit to. Given that this was positioned as a lead-in to what once again will probably be the biggest movie in history, then its financial success was almost a certainty. I mean, they could have released a movie about a fat blue-haired lady farting for an hour, and it still would have made money. They also managed to censor the internet. By now, everyone knows about the Rotten Tomatoes fiasco, in addition to censoring any YouTuber that spoke in even moderately negative terms about Captain Nasty. Endgame is the culmination and end of a story for some of the most beloved characters in cinema history, some of which we have been following for over a decade. The fact that we still love these characters after all these years and continue to see movie after movie is a testament to the writing, directing, and actors. While some do have some poisonous SJW ideologies, I'm looking at you, Chris Evans, they never detracted from the quality of the films. Some will say, see, the MCU isn't going woke. Endgame didn't go woke, and it followed Captain Marvel. Well, wrong. Endgame was largely completed prior to Captain Marvel, and is probably the last thing to come out of non-woke Marvel. We could be glad that Captain Marvel only has about 15 minutes of screen time, meaning that we can at least thank Kevin Feige for letting us say goodbye to one of the greatest franchises in history without being lectured to. But we know what's coming. Black Panther was largely the unplanned catalyst, and Captain Marvel was the experiment. An experiment that was a colossal failure in terms of public perception, but a success on paper. Now that the original Avengers have stepped down, Feige has made the idiotic decision to put Captain Marvel and Brie Larson as the head of the MCU going forward. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, and Chris Evans, again, despite his politics, were the heads of the MCU, and there is a reason people love them, and it had nothing to do with the fact that they were white males. Fans also were not sexist, as I don't know anybody that doesn't like Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch has grown on me over the years. I came to like Elizabeth Olsen even more when it got leaked that she may not like Brie Larson very much. Brie Larson cannot hold a candle to any of these actors. By now, everyone has seen the clips of Larson, Chris Hemsworth, and Don Cheadle. It doesn't take a body language expert, and yes, a body language expert has actually analyzed the clip, to tell that they don't like her very much. Seething hatred is coming from Cheadle, and Hemsworth seems more than a bit annoyed. Then there's the clip of Jeremy Renner, who looks like a man sitting next to his soon-to-be ex-wife during divorce proceedings as the judge tells him that he has to turn over 90% of his income to his life-destroying mistake. Could it be that, aside from Larson's toxic personality, they are less than enthusiastic that what they spent many years building is being handed to Larson and woke Marvel, so they can knock it down with a sledgehammer? You can see the look on Hemsworth and Cheadle's faces as Larson starts spewing out feminist talking points, and starts taking credit for strides that were already made decades ago. Sorry, princess, but that ceiling was already broken by Sigourney Weaver back in 1979, and has been broken many, many times since. If I were, say, Sigourney Weaver, Linda Hamilton, or Jennifer Lawrence, I'd be taking this as an insult. Renner also took a direct stab at Larson when he stated that he does not use his celebrity to push causes and preach to people. Burn! What this means is that the fans aren't the only ones that are concerned about the future of the MCU going forward. Moreover, why is it that Captain Marvel only had 50 minutes of screen time in Endgame, especially when there have been rumors that 2 cuts of the movie existed, one with a lot of Captain Marvel and one with very little Captain Marvel, which appears to be the one we got. Some are saying that this is proof that the MCU might not be going woke. Well, not really. My theory, and keep in mind it's just a theory, is that established MCU actors still had a lot of clout with what happened with Endgame. Does anybody think that Robert Downey Jr. would have allowed Endgame to turn into a woke fest? I think not. No, my friends, the real damage is yet to come. For now, let's enjoy what will truly be the end of the MCU and be thankful that it's going out on one of the biggest high notes in history. As it should. This is where it ends for many of us. I think, in addition to the wokeness, the MCU will also suffer superhero fatigue, possibly as a direct result of the wokeness. Lecturing woke storylines are not exciting. I think, as strange as it is to say, DC will probably be the new MCU going forward, and the MCU will become what DC was a few years ago. Captain Marvel did not make $1 billion because of feminism and a hateful actress. It made over $1 billion despite it, but this is not the way it is going to be spun or seen. Goodbye, MCU. It's been a fun 11 years. Now let's all go see Endgame, and then put the MCU in the past and let it self-destruct going forward. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you're still subscribed, and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.